Right, so here we are again, mate. It's been what?
2 years?
2 years since you've been up? Because it is a long way for you to come, isn't it? Up to classic Bike Man Towers here. So yeah, we're going to have a little walk through the workshop, see what's in there, see what I've been up to, see what bikes we've got on the go. And we're going to take a couple out for a spin. Alex is going to have a go, which brings me to the first one. We've got a few Nortons in here at the minute, which I'm looking after on behalf of my friend in Japan, and they're going to go over there as part of his collection, which we'll come on to later. But the oldest of those Nortons is this rather splendid 1926 Model 18. So Model 18s were 500cc overhead valve machines, and so quite sporty numbers in the day. Fast, reliable, well made. Not as refined as some of the other flat tankers around at the time, but they were quick, and they were well, they just look fantastic with that iconic Norton silver tanks with the black and red pinstriping. And Alex, you had a little go on this, didn't you, mate?
Yeah.
Your first time on a flat tanker.
First flat tanker.
So we just went up and down the lane here.
First time hand change.
Hand change, 3-speed. Thankfully, you only touched a couple of the gears up here. Moto filmer on his first flat tank experience, the Model 18 Norton, 1927. This was actually the final year of the flat tankers for the Norton, so it had the proper, more modern tyres and rims, the larger diameter brakes, so they did actually handle and ride a bit nicer than the earlier ones, but still had this sort of quite unique to Norton really, this direct link almost to the Sturmey Archer gearbox, rather than most hand changes having a pivot point and the sort of hand lever mounted on the tank. It did this on the Nortons. It just meant there was only one set of linkages, so it's a bit more direct, but yeah, it's a nice thing. So staying on the Norton theme, we've got this really nice example, 1936 Model 18 now.
Japan one.
Yeah, another one going to Japan. So a young guy actually called Dakai, he's on Instagram, that I've met. He's been and visited here before. He's bought this. He's got about 4 or 5 Vela sets, and he fancied a Norton because his mate Sammy's got a few Nortons, so he's plumped for this. So we picked this up at auction a couple of months ago. And yeah, it will be going across to him shortly, because obviously finding these sort of bikes in Japan is difficult, but it's interesting. He's a guy in his 20s that loves old British bikes, particularly pre-war. Where's that scene in the UK? We need a bit more of that. So yeah, it will be well ridden and well cherished out there. But you can see the difference now when you get to this period. Saddle tank, nice frame.
The years again?
36 this one is.
Versus one out
26.
there? Okay.
So we've got 36 versus 26, so much more refined. Probably lost a bit of its sporty edge by now, and it's more of a sports tourer, if you want to call it that, but a beautiful bike, and yeah, I wouldn't mind this myself, but there you go. Can't have them all. It's a pleasure to be custodian of it for a bit. Nicely restored. Actually, the guy that previously owned this is, he flies World War II Spitfires in exhibitions at the minute, so he's a sort of pilot doing them. So he's an interesting character as well. He's got a few old vintage vehicles, but he's let this one go. It'll be on its way soon. So moving away from Norton, but another beautiful late 30s bike. So this is one we're going to take out later. So this will appear on a separate video. So myself and Alex will go out on this. It's part of the collection at the National Motorcycle Museum. It's a 1938 /39 Tiger 100, so the very first of the Edward Turner parallel twins. Wonderful thing. We'll talk more about this later on, but it looks, I mean, there was the Speed Twin at the same time, which was all maroon, but this was the sports version with the chrome and the silver paint. Looks $1 million. Cocktail shaker silencers on these, which you could remove these and have them as open megas. It's loud anyway, but yeah, we'll be taking that out for a spin. So Alex will have his first ride on a 30s bike.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
So this will feel pretty quick actually. It's a 500 twin. Bronze head. Optional bronze head, yeah. fitted to this, which was an option at the time, and was.
What's so good about a bronze header?
Well, I knew you were going to ask that. I wish I'd had an answer for it, but no, it's these, and Rudge were sort of exponents of this, and Excelsior had it on the Manxman, so you got it on Rudge Ulsters and Excelsior Manxman. I think the main benefit is it cools a bit quicker, so it dissipates the heat more, so you can run it harder for longer, etc., etc. But if anyone wants to correct me on that, I'm happy to in the comments below. But it looks great, and it was sort of quite a rare extra. So that will be going out on that. It runs and rides beautifully. Like I say, it's from the National Motorcycle Museum, so they've loaned me that. So it's a pleasure to have that. But the main feature for today for us, we're going to take out this very, very special Model 90 Sunbeam. So this is the 1927 year model, first registered in December 26, purchased direct from John Marston Company in Wolverhampton, who built Sunbeams at the time. Top of the range, 500cc, single cylinder, twin port, sports machine. But this particular one, full history from new. Again, this will feature in a separate video, so I won't go into mega detail now, but it's super special and it looks amazing with those high pipes. Like I say, single cylinder, twin port bikes, just for me. Yeah, for. And Alex is going to have a go on that as well. So, we're going to try it all.
You got your modern classic there?
Yeah, these are two modern classics. So this Honda Hawk, which I think is an 88, 89, 650 V-twin. Good solid engine, nice and slim. That's my dad's bike, he restored that. And then this, quite a rare, mainly Japanese domestic market only. I think a few went to Germany. Again, it's 26 years old, but it's only done 4,000 miles, so it's super shiny. 400cc V-twin VRX Honda. Water-cooled, made to look air-cooled. Imagine though, if this was out in the market now, this would clean up. Because, I mean, in the UK, 400cc machines or 350s are the sort of top sellers at the moment, and a V-twin sort of roadster or semi-cruiser version would be phenomenal. But ahead of its time, this one.
Yeah.
But I enjoy that. That's my modern one. Then in the back room, we are brim full because, like I say, my friend Sammy, pre-war Sammy on Instagram, Sammy's Engineering Services, I'm working with him to export a few bikes over to Japan for collectors over there. So we've got another sort of 4 or 5 bikes out here. So let's have a look. Okay, so if some of you remember from previous vlogs, the main collection of bikes in here are Vincent HRDs. So we did have a Black Shadow as part of that collection, but we swapped it for, which was a 52, so it was a Vincent branded one. This is a 1949, but it's the very last of the HRD branded bikes before they went to just Vincent branding. This one's got this rather unusual alloy, large capacity sort of touring tank on it, but it looks quite effective. And it's, we've had this, 18 months? I've only ridden it a couple of times up and down the lane here. There's a few bits I'm going to do on this. So change these later carbs to some genuine period ones, which I've got them here actually. Look, acquired these from, and you can still buy these brand new from the UK, and always loads to put them on. I'd like to keep this one on a shelf actually, just staring at it, because they are a work of art. So they're the proper correct ones with separate float bowls. So they'll be going on it soon. And then, a couple of other bits. I want to get rid of this steering damper, which again is a nice option to have, but obviously wouldn't have been on the bike in 49.
Which steering damper? I think I missed that.
So this one down here, mate.
Okay.
So it's had a few tweaks to it to make it more rideable, really. It's 12-volt upgrades, but I'm going to take some of them back to period just to make it more, period correct, shall we say. But yeah, that's a nice thing. We've got our V-twin 1937 AJS, big touring beast. Again, I've not really done anything on that recently. It just sits there looking pretty at the moment. Our Comet, 1939 Comet, we've been riding that. there's we did, in fact, our very first video, wasn't it, about 5 years ago during lockdown or just after? We featured this. Got the carb off this at the moment because I'm cleaning that out. There's a little job to do on that. The 39 Comet, that's running absolutely sweet. So just wheel that in and out as and when.
Always goes, that one, doesn't it?
That was the first one we bought for this collection, and it was beautifully restored, and it just is my absolute favourite. I just love it. So yeah, very fortunate to enjoy that. We've got a 52 Rapide Vincent V-twin. Again, that's running nicely actually, no jobs to do on that. I've had that out 3 or 4 times this summer and that goes well. Our 1934 BSA V-twin, took that out for the first time in ages up and down the road, so there's a bit of footage of me starting that up and bombing around on that. It sounds beautiful, but what I did encounter, which I told you about earlier, when I was coming back down the road, pulled the front brake in and nothing happened. So something's gone awry in the front brake drum there, as I found out to my detriment as I was approaching the garage door, and rapidly had to hit the back brake and skid to a stop. But that's the joy of classic bikes. Vincent Comet over there, 500 single.
Go over.
Can we squeeze through?
Yeah.
Again, that runs and there's nothing wrong with that. Just haven't wheeled it out the corner for a while because we've got a lot of stuff in the way. So we've got 50, is it 52 or 53? That one's a 49 Series B. That runs a treat. Love that because that's got, you can see the difference between, in fact, these were out in the same year. They launched this 4950 and at the same time they had the Series C version out, which has got the Gerdrolic forks and the more modern Vincent branding. So hence, they sold only about 150 of those. They're quite a rare bike, the Series B Meteor. But yeah, they're nice. And then, what's going on up there? So our flat tank HRD is missing its tank. So this was featured 2 years ago. We did this, didn't we? So this is a 350 Jap engine, twin port, HRD 1926, 25, 26. Again, beautiful bit of kit. Hand change 3-speed, twin port single. I've really enjoyed riding that. But unfortunately, the tank sprung a leak underneath. It had had an old repair, and then fuel was exiting rather too quickly. So that's with Sam Lovegrove at the moment. He's fixing the tank up for me. I'm also going to change the gearing on the front, so the sprockets come off the drive side here. I'm going to get a different gearing ratio on that just to improve it because it was really long in first gear. But great bit of kit, featured in Classic Motorcycle magazine as well. And say it's been on the channel before, that one.
You've got quite a unique style with how you take bolts and parts off and where you leave bolts and parts.
Yeah, I like to leave them somewhere near the bike and hopefully remember that they belong to that bike. So another one that's having a tank repaired is our 500 Jap engined Vincent HRD at this point. So that's a Wolverhampton bike. branded HRD. Then when Phil Vincent bought the brand in 28, he designed this frame. So you remember previous footage of this, full nut and bolt restoration by myself. I better say my dad did a bit as well. He did a little bit. Runs amazingly. Just featured the guys from Classic Motorcycle, James Robinson. He came and rode this. I've got a bit of footage of him bombing up and down the road on it. Sounds great, rides great. But again, the petrol tank decided to spring a leak underneath. So an old repair that we thought would be okay has let us down. So hence it's now missing its tank. So that's another one that's needs some attention. But wonderful twin port singles again. They just look fabulous with 2 pipes off there sweeping up to these Brooklands cans. So again, as you can see on the pictures that are being shown, it is a stunning looking machine. So this is the tank for the 500 I was just talking about there, and you can see where the paint, unfortunately, it's coming out there, it's blowing the paint underneath. There must be some sort of pinhole or hairline crack under there, which is made a right mess of it, which is a shame because the paint's beautiful. It's been lined on the inside, but obviously it's not sealing enough.
What's the solution here?
It's basically get it welded up along this seam. So I think it's along this seam where it's coming out. So we need brazing or welding up along there. And then fuel putting in there and leaving it. It only leaks, annoyingly. You put fuel in, and it's all right for a couple of weeks. Then it seems to start to weep through. So, yeah.
Is that whole new... you're just going to touch that up then?
Well, I think, yeah, we'll try and see if we can get away with just painting that area localised. Underneath is fine. We can just touch that up anyway. But, yeah, it'd be a shame to waste the whole thing because it's expensive then. So the last of the bikes in our collection, say HRD Model P, we did a really nice video on this 3 or 4 years ago now, didn't we?
Yeah.
Riding it up and down the lanes. So you can learn more about this bike in that video there and how important it was as part of the Vincent story. Last time I rode this was about 8 or 9 months ago. And it started coughing and spluttering, and then now it's there's no spark, so the magneto's gone on that. So I'll whip that off and get it up to my man in Scotland, who is the whiz at fixing those. But like anything, it's like finding the people that have got the skills to fix some of these bits now are getting fewer and far between. So if you find a good one, try and hang on to them. So that needs some attention. The Bantam, been out on that a couple of times. Got a bit of footage of that we can show you. It just fizzes along. It's only 3 speed, so it was my first time riding as 2-stroke, taking this out. And because it's only 3 speed, you really have to wring its neck when you go from second to third to keep the revs up, to keep it pulling. But yeah, it's nice. It doesn't weigh anything. It just bobs along at sort of 50 mile an hour, quite happy. But yeah, it's good fun, that. Then, Japan then, what's going on with the Japanese bikes? So the rest of the bikes in here, we've got, let's start with these 2 Nortons, shall we?
Yeah.
These will be off to Japan. We've got another Model 18, so this is the 3rd of them. Absolutely stunning bit of kit. Fascinating history with this as well, actually. So this was believed to be raced and ridden around Brooklands, and until quite recently, actually, I think spent quite a few years in the 90s in the Brooklands Museum down there, which is a fabulous place. And yeah, fabulously restored, almost in a more racing spec than standard. So they've got these beautiful bars, nickel plated, correct for the period, that's just dropped down. So first to the saddle tank. So compared to the flat tank, this is the next model along from the one you saw earlier. Really long, slim saddle tank on there, still with this direct change Sturmey Archer gearbox and hand change here that we saw before. Overhead valve 500. And I mean, whoever restored this, it was done to a terrific standard. It's been stood in somebody's front lounge for the last couple of years. There is some oil in it because you can see some dripping out. I think that's mainly from the gearbox though. The engine seems pretty dry. So Again, this will be recommissioned when it gets to Japan. Sammy's got a fabulous collection of Nortons and he's a real specialist on these. So I'm sure he'll enjoy getting this ready for the roads out there, and it'll find a new home soon. So that's sort of 1929-30. Then another Norton, the final Norton is this, the first of the international Nortons. So this is, I think, off the top of my head, a 1937-38. 500cc overhead cam. Obviously by now we've got the foot change, so it's got the doll's head gearbox. This is pretty much a replica of what Stanley Woods, Harold Daniel, Guthrie and so on were riding and winning around the courses such as the TT in that period. So the first of the proper, before it became the double overhead cam Manx, this is the bike they used. And I fired this up the other day, rode it up and down the road. It is loud and it wants to go. So I'm really looking forward to just going over this with the spanners, make sure it's safe, because we bought this in auction about 6 weeks ago. So just give it a once over and safety check before we take it out on the road and give it a go. It will go to Japan eventually, but I'm hanging on to this one till next summer. So I'm going to have a bit of fun with this and really experience it. This was the bike as a kid. I lusted after one of these. And I'm really excited that we finally got one, so I'm going to enjoy it for a bit, because I just think they look like they're doing 100 mile an hour stood still, with a bigger diameter front wheel on this year, huge oil tank, and yeah, fabulous. Then, so moving from sort of road racing to off-roading, we've got our little AJS at the back there. This is more your sort of bike, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah.
You like a sort of
Engine might be a little bit small, but
scrambler or off-roader, yeah. So this is a 1936 AJS 350. So again, pre-war, girder fork, but it's been built up as an off-road version or a scrambler, whatever you want to call it. It's actually got a couple of bits. I think the head, cylinder head, is off a 1940. It's a little bit of a bitzer, but I really like it. I've ridden that quite a bit this summer. It's going to be featured in Classic Motorcycle magazine. We've got some good footage of this going up and down the road, and it's a nice thing. Just goes well, starts easily, ticks over lovely, and I've enjoyed that. It's been a nice bike to ride in the summer. Oh, I've nearly forgot this. So of all this sea of black and silver, we have an aerial. So the Red Hunter, as it states clearly there on its front number plate. Again, single cylinder, twin port. So these twin port bikes were really fashionable in the mid-30s, early to mid-30s. They didn't add anything to the performance, just weight, really. I know they got a bit of heat and gas away quicker, but it was just a fashion. And the high-rise pipes as well, they just look great. They didn't really add any performance benefits as such. But so they only made bikes like that for 2 or 3 years before they realised we only need one pipe. So it's nice to see one. Clocks in the tank as well, which is always a nice feature. Full lighting kit on that. And yeah, another sporty 500cc single of the time. And the good thing about these bikes, is, as Alex will learn in a bit, you get the right bike from the 20s or the 30s, particularly if it's a 500, they'll keep up with modern traffic well. So I'm hoping when you ride the Triumph in a bit, you'll realise what a usable bike it is. But yeah, I think that covers most of... Oh, hang on, we forgot one.
okay.
Right, in the corner, before we forget, another Sunbeam. This belonged to our good friend Arthur, who we've featured on the channel before. He's got an incredible collection of bikes. He's had this bike a very long time, but decided to let it go. So it's a Model 9 Sunbeam.
Japan?
This is going Japan, yeah. So 500cc single. What's good about this one is it's eligible for the Banbury Run. So it rode the Banbury Run again this year. Arthur's son Tom went round on that. Runs well, goes well, but this one's got these really... This is what excites Sammy in Japan. These front forks are quite special. So they would have been an extra on this one, more like you see on the modern 90s. So they were more the racing foot with this twin pivot damping system on the front. They're quite rare and quite desirable. So
have you ridden that?
I've not ridden it yet. No, I only got this a couple of weeks ago, and I've not had a go on it. So I will have a go before it goes. Full lighting kit, and it's a very usable bike. Yeah, nice bit of kit. So yeah, that's where we're at the minute. Plenty of work to do on the bikes. A few that are going to be out here soon, so we'll have a bit more space. But yeah, it's keeping me busy. So there we are.
Cheers, John.